Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I kind of wanted to do this video. I will get to these in a minute because what I'm doing is kind of like a life update, planner update, where have I been for the last 5 months kind of update. I'm sorry this is going to be all facing downwards, not very ideal, but I have a new camera setup going on and this is just easier at the moment while I figure out how to get the other kind of view with what equipment I have available. So, last time I uploaded a video, it was our May budget with me, and I was saying that I was going to have a video coming out explaining why we all go to therapy. There are 5 of us in our family. For those of you new to my channel or finding me through this video, we are a rural living family of 5. We live off one income and we make that money work to reach our financial goals and work through our financial priorities. I am a former teacher turned stay-at-home mom. At the time, it was just so much easier for me to stay home with my kids. My kids were 6, 2, and, squeaky newborn baby. It has the reasons have changed over the years, and it's worked for now. I know it's not gonna work forever, but for now it's worked. And we make the income work for us. That's the whole point of our channel, of my blog and my channel, is kind of making what money we earn work for us. However, one of the things I did say was that I would be explaining why we all go to therapy. I've never really elaborated on it, and I know that there are some people out there that are just diehard, get out of debt as fast as you can, because we do still have student loans. Get out of debt as fast as you can and just get it done. That doesn't really work for us. I have 3 kids, they all go to therapy, and I also go to therapy, and we budget for that every single month. So we started going to therapy. It started with my middle. All 3 of my kids are exceptionally brilliant. This is not me trying to brag or boast, but they are, and it kind of relates to how they learn in the classroom and whether or not they can easily focus in the classroom or are they distracted. And as they get older, if their minds aren't being challenged, they're not being, the curriculum, the content is not challenging enough to their brain and keeping them engaged, they're not going to learn. And they're actually going to just start despising going to school. All 3 of my kids are exceptionally brilliant, and they've been tested for gifted to try to get them into a curriculum that does differentiate for them, and only one of them tests above our district's requirement for gifted. The other 2 are just below. And it is a struggle to get their teachers to kind of differentiate for them. I know curriculums do it. I know teachers are supposed to do it. But what they're supposed to do and what they actually do are different because teachers are so overwhelmed. I get it. I understand. However, on our end, there are some other things that go on. My middle 3 years ago now, almost 3 years ago now, he's always struggled with social interactions. He's always struggled with, just kind of reading people in general. And he's very matter of fact, very to the point about things. And he was having a hard time kind of just meshing and making friends. He wasn't getting that connection. And it was very frustrating to him, to the point that he felt he would be better off just not around anymore. And so we started therapy for him for depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts. He was diagnosed with depression. He was diagnosed with anxiety, both generalized and social. Those are his 2 biggest anxieties. We see a therapist bi-weekly for him. Sometimes we do need to go weekly, but usually it's every other week for him. We started my oldest in therapy for he was having issues with his grades, and it was shortly after a concussion. We didn't know if there was something else going on. He was diagnosed with anxiety as well. He is one that, school just he doesn't really enjoy it anymore. He would much rather be the social butterfly. And my middle child wants nothing to do with being social because he can't read any cues. He can't read any interactions with kids. He's very kind of black and white, cut and dry. This is how it is or it's not. He doesn't really kind of see in between and try to work with the nuances of social interactions. And then there's my daughter, who started therapy about a year ago. She was having sleeping issues, and we thought it was her adenoids that had grown back. Turned out it wasn't her adenoids that had grown back. Her sleep, is medically fine. She's a little extended on her stage 1 and stage 2s, but medically there's really nothing going on. It's probably anxiety. So we started her with a therapist for anxiety as well. In one of the appointments for my son, back and forth between the pediatrician and the therapist, in one of those appointments, it was brought up to me that in order for the kids to get better control of their anxieties and to help cope with their anxieties better, the adults need to have their anxieties in check. And that is me. Hands down, that is me. I am very anxious. I don't really have the best thoughts about myself in general. I know with moms it's hard, but I've always been that way. The reason is I am the adult child of an alcoholic. One of my parents is an alcoholic. One of my parents is depressed, had depression most of my childhood life. So in that kind of dysfunctional family, I took on various roles, and how those roles have affected me. It's kind of how my personality is now, and that's kind of what I'm working through. So this summer for me, because I go weekly, and my kids go every other week, depending on what's going on. This summer for me was very overwhelming. Very, very overwhelming. I was being flooded with memories that I haven't thought about in 32 years. I'm 37. You know, these are things I have not thought about in forever. And they were all being resurfaced and brought back up. And it was just very unnerving. So that's kind of why I fell off. I was just trying to keep track of things that were going on appointment-wise, where we need to be and when, because our summers get very, very busy. We've got, appointments that we try to do, our annual vision exams and things that we try to do throughout the summer, so it's not really affecting school, and the weekly therapy stuff. And my son got his wisdom teeth out. My husband had surgery not long before summer started. And there was just a lot of things that were going on. And I was trying to stay afloat with all of these memories being resurfaced, all of these issues being resurfaced that I thought I had suppressed. You know what? Not good enough. Didn't suppress them good enough. And trying to work through it all. So something had to give, and this was it. So thank you for sticking with me. If you've made it this far through the video, thank you. But that is why we go to therapy. To get to these, I loved using personal rings for about a year. It was very customizable for me. I could easily print stuff out, leave it in here, slap a post-it in here, lots of reference stuff in here. But the problem was I could only keep a month at a time in here because everything else was reference stuff. When I would be at a therapy appointment for one of my kids, by the way, even though all my kids have anxiety, what looks like overwhelm for one child does not look like overwhelm for another. And so trying to help them cope and work through their overwhelm, work through what was bothering them, it's different for all three, as it is different for me. And this was just nice to kind of jot down notes from the therapy session for them. I would do it on the daily pages that I had. But trying to reference it again, it was getting thick as it was. I really enjoy using personal rings, but it's not serving me anymore. And so what I think I am going to do is just leave this as a reference binder, like our home reference binder. I wound up switching, we'll get to that later. These were all the inserts that I had. Like these are all the months. So March 2021, April 2021, May 2021. I couldn't keep referencing each of these. I thought maybe it was just the planner. The planner wasn't suiting me anymore, and so I tried to switch to like a weekly layout with just a to-do list. Cat be knocking over stuff. With just a to-do list in the weekly schedule, this wasn't working either. What I realized I needed was something that I could keep track of the appointments and things that we had going on, family-wise, because that's kind of what this was. This was my catch-all. My personal rings was my catch-all, and I needed to separate it. I needed something family-wise, and I needed something that I could also keep track of, takeaways from therapy or things that the pediatrician would recommend, because what we've found out in the process between therapy and going back and forth between the therapist and the pediatrician is my middle child, the one that has anxiety and depression, he's also gifted, he's twice exceptional. He is also on the autism spectrum, which is fine, but now we're working with a psychiatrist as well, and we have medication reevaluations, and to keep all of that information, you know, in monthly things that I have to then try to find and reference as I'm going between each of the appointments and his IEP team and, you know, the school and counselor and teacher, it was becoming too much. And so what I did was I switched to a Hobonichi Weeks. I love that it's portable. I love that I can have, you know, their schedule at a glance. Let me find a page. We could block some of this out. So I can keep track of appointments and activities here specific to the family, and I can keep track of day-specific tasks specific to the family. Anymore, some of these, like pick up prescription, I had to pick up my son's prescription. Some of these now say, where's this week's? His tenor saxophone. I will get to our budget changes in another video, but you know, when do I have to pick up my son and his tenor saxophone? When do I drop my son and his tenor saxophone off? That kind of stuff. And that kind of gets us into, I have everything here on the weekly pages. I really enjoy that. But the kicker for me, not really the kicker, like the pièce de résistance, if we do, is the notes pages at the back. So I'm sorry hi Muffin. I'm sorry this isn't a full review of the Hobonichi Weeks. This is kind of a life update, planner update, but at the back of the Hobonichi Weeks, there are very light grid pages, and it's a notes section, and I use these for notes. Notes on, you know, psychiatry appointments, notes on IEP meetings, notes on therapy appointments, because some of the takeaways we do need to then work on throughout the remainder of the week. So I'm going to have to block some of this out, but you know, what is going on with each of the kids, family meeting notes, what we've decided on and kind of settled on as family meetings, parent-teacher conference notes. You know, I'm able to keep track of it all here. So that way when I'm asked a question at the therapist's office, or if we're asked if we tried something at the pediatrician's office, or if it's why did we choose this particular medication amount, I can see why, I know why. I can go back and find out why without having to rack my brain, find it in all these things. So yeah, I bought another Hobonichi. I bought a Mega for 2022. This was a regular. This is just the regular Hobonichi. There it is. I bought one for me as a 2022 gratitude journal and self-forgiveness journal, because again, I'm working through therapy. And so that's how I'm going to use this one. But this was what this one initially was. So it got chunky, and I love that. I know there's some people out there that don't like the paper of the Hobonichi, and that's fine. It is kind of thin. It does have like a feel to it, but I love that feeling when I'm, especially in my journal, when I can go back and see, you know, kind of get that feel that, yes, you know, this is like our life kind of on these pages. And to me, I love that. But yeah, that's kind of where our life is right now. Me running around between 3 kids, one of them in everything. Here's our month this month. And there's more appointments in here I haven't put in because now my middle is weekly, as is my oldest. But you know, this is kind of where our life is right now. And this is what is working for us right now. And we are in between multiple appointments. And, you know, that is my season of life. So my goal is to get this set up to be our 2022 family planner. My son picks on me every time I pull this out at the therapist's office. He goes, oh God, it's the notebook again. Yes, it's the notebook again, because Mom tries to keep track of everything going on. And so I will be setting this little gem up in the same way. I would like to do plan with me's on this throughout next year. I don't think I'll be sharing what's in the back pages so much because, again, that is kind of personal to each kid. I'm sorry I have to censor out what's in this, you know, but it is what it is. And kind of go from there. If you want to see how I set this up, let me know in the comments below, but I was going to set this up very similar to how I have this one set up currently. And I can do that. In the meantime, I hope everybody has been doing well. I hope you have been staying healthy. And I look forward to getting back and kind of sharing our bits of our life with you guys. So thank you very much for sticking around, and until next time, bye.